Hey, what's up guys, and welcome to the video. Today's vehicle is a 2009 GMC Sierra. It's used as a work truck, so as you can imagine, this thing is pretty filthy everywhere you look. Having a look around this truck, and it really doesn't matter where you look, and it's covered in dirt. From the running boards to the tailgate or the wheels and wheel wells, there's a pile of dirt that's accumulated from driving on grid roads, especially in the door jambs. And I'm moving inside the truck, and it's really not any better as the seats are super dirty. There's a ton of dirt and dust on every surface in here, and a fair bit of dog hair in here as well for the lily brush to tackle. And looking at the carpets in here, and you know that they're going to provide for a ton of satisfying extraction later. And now just before we jump into the video guys, take a quick second and subscribe to the channel and turn the bell on so you don't miss out on any future videos like this one. Alright guys, it's time to get the pressure washer fired up, get to work on transforming this truck, so let's get started. Alright, so while I start on the pre-wash rinse here, I figured I would answer a few of the common questions I get from you guys, with the first being the type of pressure washer that I'm using, and that's a gas-powered Honda GC 160. I've had this for over 10 years and I absolutely love it. Then I use a nice and wide 40-degree tip on the wand, so with the PSI my Honda pushes, it's perfectly safe to get as close to the paint as I do. I have to say it was pretty nice that these wheel wells weren't carpeted, so they can be sprayed out really easy. But I did want to mention for anyone living in a colder climate where they started to salt the roads, make sure you're spraying out the lip really well, so that chrome part there, and do that every few weeks in the winter, as that's generally one of the first places to rust on a vehicle. I'm not sure if you guys can see or not, but in the barrel of the wheels, there was literally a solid inch of caked on dirt from all the gravel roads this truck sees. So I had to get the pressure washer nice and close to blast it all off, as it was super stuck on, and in a lot of spots it came off in huge chunks. You saw in the opening shots that the door jambs on this truck were full of mud, so the safest and also the easiest way to get them clean is with the pressure washer, and it works especially well to not only get the mud off, but also that layer of dirt that covers most of the wiring sleeves. So with the truck all foamed up, I'll use a detail brush around all the emblems in behind the gas door, and then another place that's easy to overlook is the door handles. So for these dirty floor mats, I'll hit them with the pressure washer and then use some all-purpose cleaner on them. And even though a lot of the time with rubber floor mats, they'll still look a bit dirty after that because they're worn, I generally don't apply any sort of product to them because in a lot of cases it would either make them slippery or just not look very good. So here's the aftermath of washing this truck in here, and I'm pretty sure most of that came from the wheels and the wheel wells. Alright, so moving on to this super dirty interior, and the first thing to do is remove all the personal items in this truck, and I have to say between the binoculars, the dog hair, the loose rounds of ammo, and the box of shotgun shells I found, it was very clear the owner does a lot of hunting with this truck. So knowing there's a ton of dog hair in here, I'll vacuum each section of carpet, get as much of the hair and the debris as I can, and then go over it with the lily brush, which does an amazing job at getting the hairs pulled out of the fibers, and in a lot of cases it will find hairs that you couldn't even see. So if any of you out there struggle with pet hair in your vehicle, I've got the link in the description for it, so feel free to check it out if you're interested. So while I vacuum the carpets, I'm always taking a mental note of what shape they're in. And in this truck, it's not so much that there's stains, but there's clearly a lot of dirt in some spots. So between the carpet and the seats in here, I know I'm gonna have fun with the Bissell today. Now moving on to these super dirty seats, and I have to guess that most of the dirt on here is from the owner's dog, as the passenger and the rear seats were a fair bit dirtier than the driver's, but the drill brush does an excellent job at getting all that dirt loosened up, and it's perfectly safe to use on cloth seats and carpets, although they do make some stiffer versions for other applications. So if you guys want to have a look at them, I've got the link to them along with almost every other product and tool I use down in the description. They're about 20 bucks on Amazon. They come in a kit of 3 or 4 brushes, so it's really a great value. Moving down to the carpets, and like I said earlier, it looks like the majority of what I'm dealing with here is just super embedded dirt. So I know the solution in drill brush won't have any trouble getting it loosened up, and the Bissell extractor can easily suck it all away. But I have to say that as this is a customer who is paying for the carpets to be shampooed, I really don't want to run into stains or things I'm not able to remove from the carpets, as I like to deliver perfection back to the owners of these vehicles. So sometimes it's just out of my control, like that minivan I did a while back, and I'm not able to do that. So it can be a bit disappointing on my end, but with this truck, I already know these carpets are gonna look brand new when I'm done. So one of the questions I get asked a fair bit is whether I put solution in the Bissell or not, and the answer is no. I just use hot water in the tank, and the reason for that is because I pre-treat with solution, so if I had solution in the tank as well, I'd constantly be adding more solution when I sprayed, which really wouldn't make any sense. So using just hot water gives me the ability to continually further dilute any remaining solution so I can be sure that I get it all out. Here's all the dirty water I pulled from these carpets and seats, and the nice layer of sludge at the bottom. Moving to all the dirty interior panels, and I'm using some of my Meguiar's D101 APC, diluted 10:1 and a damp microfiber towel. to wipe everything down. And I know some of you have asked, why is it diluted and why at 10:1? So first off, the D101 comes in a concentrate, so it needs to be diluted. And then generally speaking, 10:1 is a good and safe strength for all interior surfaces in a vehicle. And then I'll also use it at 4:1 for things like rubber floor mats, pedals, or super dirty or grimy areas where I just need a little bit more cleaning power. So for these door sill plates that I popped off earlier, I'm busting out my McCulloch steamer and using some 4:1 APC and the brush attachment to get down into the grooves, get the dirt loosened and lifted out, and then it's just as easy as wiping them dry with a microfiber towel. But I did see a couple of specks of dirt remaining, so I hit it with the steamer again just to be sure they were perfectly clean. Moving down to the pedals, and even though they looked relatively clean, it's easy to see how much dirt was coming off them with the steamer. Now using a microfiber applicator pad, I'm applying 303 aerospace protectant, and since this truck's interior has a lot of spots that are scuffed or slightly discolored and faded, this really exemplifies how good of a product this is because it totally revived the look of everything and honestly makes it look brand new again. So as this is a white vehicle, any amount of tar or iron contamination on the paint is going to be really easy to see. And I noticed a bit when I was washing it earlier. So using some quick detailer as lubricant, I'm rubbing the clay gently across the paint, and it's going to easily pick up any surface bonded contaminants like the tar, iron particles, or other road grime this truck might have on it. Now to protect this paint and add a little bit of gloss, I'm applying a layer of wax with my polisher and a foam finishing pad. And the most important thing to remember when doing this is to just let the machine do the work. You don't need to be pressing down, as all you're trying to do is spread the wax or sealant around and apply a nice even layer. So for the tires here, I figured I would use some of this 303 tire coating and protectant because it's a spray, mostly because of all the little grooves in these tires, which makes it more time consuming to apply my usual product, Carpro Pearl, as I use a microfiber applicator pad on that. So being that this won't sling and is super easy to apply, I figured I would use it for these tires to make my life a little bit easier. All right guys, and 12 hours later, I've got the Sierra looking super pretty again. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure you smash the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, enjoy the guitar outro, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.